Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach Kleindinst here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you're doing well. Hey, so I want to just make a quick video for all my guys out there who are thinking about buying a home or renting a home, kind of not sure which way to go, what you should do, why you should do it, what's the smartest decision for you and your family. It's a legitimate concern that a lot of people have. Hey, should we buy a house or should we rent a house? And the questions that always come up are usually one of these four things that I'm going to go over with you guys now. And those four things, two of them are reasons why we want to buy a house, why you should buy a house, and two of those reasons are going to be why you should not buy a house. Yeah, I said it. I'm a real estate agent. I sell houses. I flip homes. I own rental properties. And I'm telling you that you might be a candidate to not buy a house. And I'm going to go over the reasons why. So first of all, the first two reasons why we want to buy a house. Number one, pride of ownership. Now, I could break this down into subcategories and talk about the freedom of owning the property, what you can do with it. But let's just take a step back. Look at the pride of ownership, right? You drive up to it, it's yours. I own this property. I own the walls on the outside. I own the land it sits on, unless you're in a condo, of course, and you own the inside walls. But pride of ownership, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can paint it, you can break it. Whatever you want to do to it, it's your home, it's your baby. You do with it what you want. Which brings me to my next point with why you want to buy a house. You want to buy a house because, first of all, the pride of ownership. Second of all is the future equity. Now, before I get into the future equity, this is the only two reasons why you buy a house, by the way. Pride of ownership. I can do with it what I want. I have the freedom to put up a fence, to put up a garage, to paint it, to put the mulch that I want to put into it. You have the freedom to do what you want. Pride of ownership. Now, what I advise a lot of my clients to do, especially with the market that we're in right now, buy that ugly house on the street. Buy grandma's house. Why? Because of reason number two. The reason why you're buying a home is so you're not throwing money away on rent and you're building yourself up with equity. Do you guys know the average homeowner last year gained $51,000 in equity in their home? That's just last year. $51,000 in equity was gained last year with the average homeowner. That's huge. That's a reason why you'd want to buy a house, right? Like we said, number two is future equity. So imagine this. You buy grandma's house, you fix it up, you paint it a nice color, you put a new roof on, you put some things into it, pride of ownership, plus now you just built up the equity. You're probably going to get a better deal on that house because it's the ugly house on the block, right? It needs renovations, needs new carpet, needs new floor, needs new bathrooms, maybe some new paint, or maybe it just needs power washed and painted. Who knows? But now you have future equity. So if you guys bought a house, I have clients who were thinking about buying a home 2 years ago. They were on the fence about it. They didn't buy it because they were scared that we were at the height of the market. Prime example was me. I went to buy a home. This was about 4 years ago. Bought a house. It was the ugliest house on the block. Nobody else wanted it. It was on the market for about 100 and I think back then it was 144 days on the market. Nobody wanted it. We bought it. Fixed it up. We had that pride of ownership. Wow, we did the floors. We did the bathrooms. We took this wall out, put this wall in, did the bathrooms, did everything else. Pride of ownership. Then we turned around and sold it 3 years later for a lot more money than what we put into it and what we bought it for. That's the future equity. Good example. We just bought a house in June of 2020. That home went up 25% in the last year. But my point to this is that I had hesitations about doing it because I'm telling myself, like, hey, I think this is the height of the market. I think we're here. I think this is the end. Don't buy anything because we're at the top of the market. And next thing you know, a year later, it's going even higher. So future equity is a huge part as to why you want to buy a house. But now, listen. To the folks out there who haven't bought a house, they're probably kicking themselves in the butt because they stayed in their rental. They're paying $1,200, $1,500 a month, maybe even $800 to $1,000 a month in rent, obviously even higher, and it's going towards nothing. So why would you not want to buy a house and rent instead? You know, the one thing I saw on my Facebook the other day, one of my friends posted on their Facebook that they would rather rent now instead of buying. One of their biggest regrets was buying the house because guess what? They weren't prepared. Now they got to replace the furnace, replace the AC, replace the water heater, fix the leaky toilet, fix all these things. Whereas before they could just call the landlord. Hey, Mr. Landlord, my toilet's leaking, my roof is leaking. Can you come fix it? Can you come repair it? And it's somebody else's responsibility. That's why you wouldn't want to buy a house. You know, when I bought my first house, I was scared to death every single night when we got snow, when we got rain. Obviously, I live down here in South Florida now, so I don't have to worry about the snow. But when I was in Pennsylvania, you had to worry about the rain all the time. I'm like, man, I bought this house. I literally had like $4,000 in the bank. And I'm like, what if the roof starts leaking? Because it was an old slate roof. What if my old boiler goes out? My boiler was like 50 years old. I'm in panic mode every single night. What if the boiler goes out? What if the hot water heater goes out? What if the roof goes out? What if the windows need replaced? You know, I had the old windows. I had to open the windows up. I was afraid the damn window was going to fall out. You know what I mean? So that's why you might want to stay renting. You got to be prepared. If you're going to buy a house, be prepared. Don't just go into it with a USDA loan or a VA loan, zero money down, and you have $0 in the bank. Be prepared, okay? Because you want to be prepared, because guess what? It's best to buy it because what we just discussed earlier, the future equity. You want future equity. You want freedom to do with the house what you want. And guys, if you disagree with me, you guys have your own comments as to more reasons why you'd want to buy a house or rent a house, please comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I don't care which way you guys give it. I'm getting better at this stuff here. But love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions. But my point is, this property, I was nervous every single night. And if you feel as though you're going to be that type of person, I'm telling you guys, it's not worth it. It's worth keeping a rental, because then you don't have to fix the furnace, the water heater, the AC, the roof, okay? And then secondly, it anchors you down. I recently made a move. I have my business in South Florida and now also up in Pennsylvania still. But when you own a property, it anchors you down. You can't move. If I'm renting a property and I'm on a month-to-month lease, I give 30 days notice and boom, I'm out. I'm gone. You can't see me again. I'm done. Like John Cena in this place. You can't see me. You know what I'm saying? So the rental allows you to give a 30-day notice and you can move out and go to wherever you want to go. Especially with the way the world is nowadays with COVID, a lot of people are working remote. The metaverse is coming. You're going to be working inside the computer anyway. Us here at eXp Realty, we've been doing this for a couple years now anyway. And I hope that stock blows up, by the way, with the metaverse coming out. It better. It should. My point is, there's reasons why we buy, there's reasons why we lease or rent. There's pros and cons to every single one. What if you're buying and the market tanks and the market goes down? Well, now you lost that equity, okay? So again, reasons to rent and reasons to buy. If you guys want to have a more detailed conversation about this, if you're looking to buy a house here in beautiful South Florida, you guys can call me directly. You guys could comment below, however I can help you guys out. But I want to conclude with this. If you are the type of person who is thinking about renting and not buying, like I mentioned before, I had a lot of clients in the last 2 years who decided to stay where they were and stay renting. Those guys are kicking themselves in the butt right now because of the equity potential they missed out on 2 years ago. And now they're coming back into the market. I'm working with guys right now. They came back to the market. They're looking to buy a house right now. And now they're paying about $55,000 to $75,000 more than what they would have a year and a half ago. So my point is, if you are on the fence and you are going to rent, don't just rent, buy a rental property. Keep renting where you live and then buy the property that you can rent it. Why? Because now you're going to have tenants who are paying your rent. These tenants are paying your mortgage and your rent, maybe. But build yourself an asset. If these guys would have bought a rental property a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, that rental property would have went up with rents, because rents have gone up in the last couple of weeks, last couple of months and years as well. So they would get more money per month and they would have a huge asset that is now worth probably about $50,000 more than what they paid for it 2 years ago. So if you're on the fence, guys, again, my name is Zach Kleindienst here with eXp Realty. If you guys are on the fence of buying or selling a home, like I said, comment below, give me your feedback on the video, like it, dislike it, I don't care. I want to get some information out there to you guys. And like I said, if you guys have any more input on this video, please, like I said, comment below. Also, if you're in the market to buy or sell a property, you guys can hit me up directly. My number is in the description. I'm happy to answer more questions about buying investment properties. I own 10 of them, 10 rental properties. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, nowhere near where a lot of you guys might be at. But if you're looking to get started, if you're looking to buy your first home or you're looking to buy your first investment property, let's have a conversation. Guys, my name is Zach Kleindienst, eXp Realty. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks.